Hello, friend. Let me start with a question. How are you? How do I find you right now as you're listening to this? I know we are all in different places of life, places around the world, different things going on. But I'm curious how you would answer that question of just how are you? Do you feel like if we were sitting down having a cup of coffee, could you give me the real, true, honest answer? Or would you feel like, oh, she's probably just asking for the surface level, I'm great, how are you? Well, let me tell you, if I ever ask how are you, I want the deep, real answer. And so we're going to talk today about a quote that my coach gave me that radically transformed my mindset and my heart set towards my marriage in a time where I was starting to kind of head the wrong way with my mindset. I was starting to get a little passive. And so this idea that honesty is kindness radically transformed my mindset. And so I'm excited to share how it can change yours as well.
Hey mama, welcome to Intimacy After Infidelity. Do you find yourself Googling, can a marriage survive infidelity? Or what's the first step to divorce? Do you wake up full of hope only to end the day with more shame when there's another stupid argument again? Hey, I'm KristinaJoy, forgiven daughter of Jesus. I too felt the shame of infidelity and wished someone had a roadmap for how to get out of the mess so I could experience freedom. I kept telling myself I just needed to try harder to end the affair and fix my marriage, until I found I needed Jesus to heal some deep wounds in my heart. Through prayer, lots of research, and developing new healthy habits, I was able to find healing to shed my shame once and for all. Now I'm excited to share everything I've learned with you. So find your safe space and pop in that earbud. Let's rebuild your life and marriage better than it's ever been.
Sister, have you recently ended your affair? Or have you ended your affair a while ago and you're wondering, now what? Now what am I supposed to do? You're desperate for answers. You're thinking you should be over it by now. And it's really hard to know who to talk to because I get it. There's a fear of judgment. There's a fear of someone not holding your story well, maybe bringing in some more shame. Honestly, you're afraid if you talk to certain people, they're just going to say something you don't want to hear anyway. Listen, friend, this podcast and the one-on-one coaching with me is not any of that. I want to teach you how to shed your shame and begin walking in freedom and the dignity that was promised in Proverbs 31. I am so excited to tell you that coaching is easier than ever. I use a text and a voice messaging app so you can get real-time help on the go. I know you're busy. You might not have time or the quiet time away from family to be able to have a long coaching call. So with a voice messaging app like this, super easy to connect with me in the minute when you have a question, when it works for you. I don't want you spending hundreds of dollars to talk with someone just for a handful of times. They don't really get to know you and your story and what you need and where you're headed in the future. But I want to help you experience forgiveness for yourself, as well as create a vision and a hope for the days ahead. Literally, let's get you moving forward with life instead of staying stuck in shame and doubts and questions and judgment. So check out Shed Your Shame Coaching so I can show you what's possible before another day goes by. You can hear from God and trust yourself and rebuild relationships. So head to the show notes for the link to get started so we can connect and get you moving forward. Now, like I mentioned, I was given this piece of advice from my coach that at first when I heard it, I was like, yeah, well, I think that's kind of true, but I didn't really know how to apply it to its fullest value. And this idea is that honesty is kindness. Honesty is kindness. Now, let's ask the question first. What do you mean honesty? Like, I'm coming out of an affair. I know I was lying then, but I'm not lying now. I'm being transparent with my phone, with my emails, with my calendar. I'm being transparent. I'm not lying anymore. Well, you are right. Honesty is the opposite of a lie. But I believe that honesty is also speaking up instead of staying silent. Because this idea of, truth versus a lie, well, deception also falls on this side of a lie. And you could be deceiving someone by not speaking up about what you are really thinking or feeling, your real opinion about the situation. And by staying silent, it's almost like you're giving approval because you have not disagreed with what the other person said. So honesty, speaking up, speaking the truth. So there are 3 ways that I think you need to be honest, really with 3 people. First of all, be honest with yourself. Sister, I wish I could just give you a hug right now. Be honest with yourself. That's being kind to yourself. And here's what that means. What do you need right now? What does your body need, or your heart, or your mind, or your spirit? What do you need right now? What do you want? Or is there something that is hurting? Do you have an area that's in pain or shame, something that's hurting? Can you identify that even to yourself, to admit what's true? And right now, I should also preface all of this with saying, please right now get rid of maybe the good girl church answer that you grew up with. If you were like me, you grew up in a church, and so a lot of beliefs were formed there, which was great. But some of those things you were taught, or the beliefs that you have now, they might not be entirely true, or they might not be true in this situation. So when I'm asking, what do you want? What do you want to do? You do not need to feel like, well, I should say this. What are we talking about? Honesty. Honesty is kindness. So whatever that first thing is that pops into your brain, that's probably the voice that you need to listen to. Your inner voice is trying to talk. Don't silence it. Listen to it. Listen to yourself. Another way to ask this question is, if you could wave a magic wand tomorrow, what would your life look like? Who would be there? What would you be doing? If you could just wave a magic wand and anything was possible, what would it look like? So step number 1, be honest with yourself. Step number 2, I think person number 2 that you need to be honest with is God. And I don't want to just kind of give you a pass with, well, God knows your thoughts, God knows your heart. Yes, that is true. But can you journal or speak out loud what it is that you want and need towards God? If you were to sit in God's presence, can you speak the words of the truth of what you want? Again, honesty is kindness. God is the ultimate kind, the example of kind towards you. Can you be kind to yourself by being honest with God? Tell him what you need and what you want. Dream with him. Again, that idea of a magic wand. Don't just think about it for yourself. Tell God, man, I wish I could have this. God, wouldn't it be cool if we could do that? Tell him what's hurting you and tell him how you really feel about it. God is big enough to handle your big emotions. Are you angry? Let God know about it. That's totally okay. Are you so sad and just at the end of your rope? Let those emotions flow and tell God about it. Invite him to sit with you in the hurt, because he will. I know that he will. I promise you that. Now, I'll be honest, sister, this is where I struggled because I started to become passive in my marriage in the name of, well, God can work. I can't control other people like my husband, and I don't want to nag him to do things, so I'll just leave it up to God. And I was convincing myself that I was happy in the other 99% of my life. But there was still this 1% that was unsettling, and I was trying to ignore it until I was encouraged to be honest with myself and then be honest with God. You don't have to pretend like you're happy. Tell God what's bothering you. Get your heart posture correct. Do not be passive and just, well, God will take care of it. Sister, God is waiting for you to talk to him and to tell him your deepest dreams and deepest desires. He gave those to you, so have a conversation about it. Also, do not let yourself get passive because remember, we are in a spiritual battle, a battle every single day. And you can't go into battle unless you know your enemy, who is your enemy, and unless you know what the plan is. You can't be passive in battle. You have to be aggressive. And so that's like going into God's throne room every day to get the battle plan, to tell him your thoughts about what's going on, and then to be able to go throughout your day, go back into the world with the wisdom that God has given you. So talk with God about your needs, about your pain. He loves you. He wants to talk with you. So be honest with God. And the third person I think you need to be honest with is somebody else. So I'll leave that open, but here's a couple suggestions. Do you need to have a conversation with your affair partner if you are still struggling to cut contact? Honesty is kindness. Talking with your affair partner about cutting contact is showing kindness to yourself, kindness to your family, kindness to the affair partner. Do you see what I'm saying? There needs to be that conversation with honesty. Do you need to have a conversation with your husband with honesty about what you see is happening in your marriage? Is there someone else? Is there a friend that you need to talk to? How about a counselor or a coach? Let me preface that with, you can hire a coach or a counselor and still not be speaking the truth. Let me tell you, when I first started counseling, my first handful of appointments, I would talk with her about, I have this friend who I care about a lot and that's in trouble. Well, she was able to read between the lines. But I was not being completely honest about who this friend was. So, sister, may I be the one to challenge you. If you are working with someone, please be honest with them about where you are and what you want to see changed. So, I'm curious, who is it that you need to start with? Which one of these can you lean into more this week? To be honest and kind with yourself, with God, or with another person. You deserve kindness and dignity and respect. So, sister, honesty is kindness, and it might start with having a very serious conversation with yourself. And I am here if you need to process that anymore. What does that look like? Isn't this going to happen if I say this or that? I'm here if you need to process that, or grab your journal, jot some of those down, those thoughts and those emotions that you're having. And I promise that it will radically change your relationships. Go be kind to yourself today.
Hey Mama, I hope today's episode encouraged your heart. If you need to talk about this some more, would you send me a message at KristinaJoyCoaching.com? Also, please take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It thrills my heart to know this podcast is helping you heal your heart so you can shed the shame of your affair. I am cheering for you, and I can't wait to hear your story. I'll meet you back here on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another episode. As always, be clothed with strength and dignity and laugh without fear of the future.